There's just something magical about live theater, right? The lights dim, the curtain rises, and for a little while, you're sharing the same air, the same energy, with a room full of people, all getting lost in the same story. It's an art form that's been with us forever.
But what happens when that shared space isn't a physical room, but a digital one? I mean, can you really bottle that lightning, that energy, that feeling of being there, and stream it into a virtual reality headset? That is the big, fascinating question we're going to dig into today.
Okay, so let's get into it. This is what happens when one of our oldest forms of storytelling crashes right into our newest technology. And we're not just talking about, watching a recording of a play on a virtual screen. No, this is a total reinvention of what a stage can even be. At its heart, the whole idea is to completely change your role in the story. VR theater wants to take you from being someone who just watches a performance to someone who can actually experience it. The goal is to shatter that divide, to make you a participant, maybe even a character, inside the world of the play.
So how does this stuff actually get made? How do creators build these incredible worlds and beam live performances into your headset? Well, it usually boils down to two really fascinating techniques, and each one has its own special kind of magic.
So on one hand, you've got live actor capture. Now think of this like super high-tech digital puppeteering. Right now, somewhere in the world, an actor is performing live, and their every movement, their voice, it's all being streamed directly through a digital avatar that's right there with you. This means you can have real, spontaneous interactions. Then, on the other hand, you have something called volumetric capture. This is more like creating a perfect 3D recording, a hologram really, of a performance. You can then place that recording in a virtual world and literally walk around it, seeing it from every possible angle, almost like a living statue.
And if you want to understand just how big volumetric capture can get, just look at this number, $175 million. That was the reported budget for the mind-blowing ABBA Voyage show. They used this exact tech to create these stunningly real digital avatars of the band, looking just like they did in their prime, performing a whole concert. It's just a crazy glimpse of what's possible.
But look, making the performance is only half the battle. The real question is, how does all this tech change the experience for you, the audience? How does watching a play in VR really compare to being there in person, or just, watching a video of it? It's about more than what you see. It's about what you feel.
This chart kind of helps break it down. Being there in person, you get that amazing sense of presence, but you have to physically be there. A video stream, sure, anyone in the world can watch, but you're just passively viewing it on a screen. VR theater hits this incredible sweet spot. You get the global reach of streaming, but with that powerful sense of being there. And, this is the really important part, the chance to interact in a way that can actually change the story.
And this quote just nails it. In traditional theater, we talk about breaking the fourth wall. Well, in VR theater, there is no wall. It just dissolves. You aren't peeking into another world. You are, for all intents and purposes, standing right inside it. Okay, so let's talk about the people who are actually doing this. The trailblazers who are defining this brand new art form and figuring out the rules as they go. First up, you have to know about the studio Tenderclaws. Their show, The Underpresents Tempest, was a total game changer. It was a live, partly improvised take on Shakespeare where real actors, logging in from wherever they were, would find you and guide you one-on-one through this surreal, magical world. It really proved that you could have a deep, personal theatrical connection without ever being in the same room.
Then you've got the Ferryman Collective. Their show, Welcome to Respite, dives into some really complex psychological themes. But here's the brilliant part. In every show, one audience member actually gets to embody the main character, who is a child. This taps into a wild psychological idea called the Proteus effect, which basically says that the way our avatar looks can change how we think and act. By putting you in the shoes of a child, it completely changes your emotional state and creates this profound sense of empathy that's just, wow.
And one more fantastic example is Finding Pandora X from Double I Studios. This is so cool. Here, the entire audience is given a role. You are the Greek chorus. So you're not just watching the Pandora's Box story play out, you are an active part of the myth itself, working with the actors to try and change the outcome.
So, where is all this headed? I mean, the potential is obviously huge, but let's be real. We're not quite at the point of a virtual Broadway on every corner. There are still some pretty big challenges to tackle before this goes truly mainstream.
Yeah, the barriers are definitely real. You've got high production costs, plus the headsets themselves can be expensive, which limits the audience. Creators literally have to teach people how to use their virtual hands and move around. And all of that is happening while they're also trying to invent sustainable business models, deal with tech glitches, and create a whole new language of acting for avatars. It's a lot.
But the future looks incredibly exciting, and the key word is hybrid. Okay, just imagine this. Holographic telepresence, where a live actor is beamed into a virtual world, or even your actual living room as a photorealistic 3D hologram. Or, get this, AI-powered audiences that can create the buzz and energy of a packed theater even if you're the only one watching. But the real game changer? It's going to be combining AR and VR, where someone sitting in a physical theater wearing AR glasses can see and interact with someone joining from home in VR, all part of one single unified audience.
So really, what all of this is telling us is that the very definition of a stage is changing. It's not just a wooden platform in a building anymore. It's becoming this dynamic, interactive experience that you can access from anywhere, built with nothing but code and imagination.
Which kind of leaves us with one final big, thought-provoking question. As these lines between the physical world and the digital world keep getting blurrier, will the greatest theaters of the future even need a street address? Or will the most powerful performances happen in places that only exist when we all decide to log on?